about what's going on. Your most recent music, your album, your beautiful videos like Don't Come Easy, and Decade of a Love King. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh man, I just put out another video this past Friday. Try to get to the spice, like once or twice before we close it
Mhm.
out. But I'm just in a different. I like to make it tasteful. You know what I mean? Like it's got to
Mhm.
be. Everything got to feel like art from the style of dress to just everything. Just trying to step it up. Um,
Mhm.
Don't Come Easy just hit 1 million views, over the weekend. So that was basically like we did the numbers this morning. It's about basically I average like a quarter a mil views per month, which is not bad. Everything I do is organic. I'm independent. I'm spending my own money a lot of times. So um, it's it has to be very calculated and it's not inflated numbers. It's real impressions. So I'm seeing like the
Mhm.
YouTube followers go up. I'm really starting to get a grip and got a hand on how I want to um like how I want to push the music. I'm seeing the importance of like
Mhm.
advertisement and YouTube and Spotify and I was kind of late bloomer on that. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed
Yeah.
to admit that. And so the biggest challenge for me with my older fans is like they still want CDs. And I still order
Mhm.
a very small amount. I'll probably order more vinyl than I will CDs in the end, but it's a digital era. You got to get with the program or you just get lost in the sauce. And
Mhm.
but I mean, I'm off to a great start. The pre-order went up for the album Decade of a Love King on Friday. People seem to be very excited, and it seems to be highly anticipated. And you know, I'm thankful for that. 13 years in the game, 6 albums later, I'm here. Still.
Mhm. And we are very excited for you. You have you always been a unique and promising artist. So we're very excited for all these great things that are happening. So previously, you've been proclaimed as the underground mixtape king. You went through all these series with the crown and the cape. So now you're the love king. So how did this come about?
Um, Man, the Love King kind of like that. That title kind of came about like back in 2015. You know, with the Love, Sex, Passion album, which I dropped at the time. I'm one of those firm believers in like reinventing yourself, and if you don't believe it, then nobody else will. So, um,
Mhm.
but the only way to make people believe it is to be it. So, um, it kind of started with a phone call, a friend of mine, and someone I respect in business. Former manager, we still very cool. Mike MacArthur, we were on a call and just kind of like talking about a new look. At that time I had went with the baldy and and we just kind of just was bouncing different things back and forth, and I was like, man, it was like, so he was like, who are you now? And I was like, man, I'm a Love King. And then we actually had a real conversation about it, like in terms of like, is it too arrogant? How people gonna perceive it? Will another
Mhm.
dude call me that? You know what I'm saying? How women feel comfortable saying that? Like, because industry cats sometimes they overthink things. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
with good reason. As I now have my own artists and things, different projects and things I'm working on. Even myself, I use my myself as a guinea pig to make sure that I'm crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Mhm.
But I
For
mean,
those,
everybody's calling me that now, so I guess it's stuff.
yeah. For those who are just starting out in the industry, um, how can they do by your example or even do a different of defining themselves? Like, should you allow the society to find your title, or do you think it's best to define who you are early on?
Man, listen, you got to claim it and just be it. You know what I mean? Like right now,
Mhm.
I'm here to be great. And I'm not going to apologize for my greatness. When they have
Mhm.
conversations about the king of R&B or the king of soul or the king of this or king of, like, I want to be I want to be in those conversations. Like, mention my name. Like, that's it.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I earned that. And I want to go down in history as one of the greatest voices of my generation. You know what I mean? And that's not based on an album sale or a particular accolade or a reality show or just some of the other things that people use to heighten, their following or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in just like I have what you call the last man standing um, concept. Like, you know what I mean? And I already got in my mind, like, it's like imagining putting me on a track, right? With you just pull a name out of the hat, right? But you put me on a track with these other artists, and I'm just going to keep running, and we're going to start running, and they're going to say the last person that stops running is the person that won the race, and I just keep running. You know what I mean? Wow. And that's like, I don't give up on me. I bet on me. And I think these are all the things that are necessary for anybody that's up and coming. You gotta take those. You're gonna hear a lot of no's. I take the no until I turn it. I know I can think about a no's is that I know if I come back enough, I'll get the yes. But it won't be out of pity or anything like that. It'll be because I deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Sometimes somebody tell you no because it's not a good time. For anybody out there, I mean, you can do it. All you gotta do is really put your mind to it. You gotta see it. Really get into the thought process of like, imagine if we thought about every thought before we let it into our brain, right? You know what I'm saying? When I say that, I'm talking about mainly the negative things, right? Like, you can really, the power of the mind is a beautiful thing. It's a powerful thing. Sometimes I think you forget the power you possess. So I try to, use that in my music, and and it's good days and bad days because we get discouraged just like everybody else.
What keeps you specifically motivated? Because you seem very driven. You've been in the game for a while. You've, really overcome a lot. So what keeps you driven, and what is your motivation for creating the songs that you make?
Self-motivated. First and foremost, I'm very competitive. I think, I hope people see that I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. I had many jobs before I was, before the world knew my name. I come from humble beginnings. So, I could still be pushing carts of giant food, or still being, telemarketing, or, selling sneakers. Or, my last record was Tower Records. So it's just to kind of, just run through it a little bit, right? So but I mean, I didn't get to where I am being lazy. I'm not going to get to where I'm going by being lazy, So I respect hard work. I know what hard work is, and I aspire to inspire and do everything I do, whether it's community work or music related, or love, whatever it is. Like, what I mean, I'm learning how to give my all. I mean, for me personally, like, as well as I write about love, I realize that I got 35, maybe 40 years of reconditioning to be able to be in a state where I can, like, fully love somebody like how I want to love them, and, like, love myself, most importantly, because I realized recently for a very long time, like, I had to love myself how I wanted to love myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, how I deserve to love myself, you know what I'm saying? So that can leave you in a real vulnerable and self-destructive state, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, like, especially in a business that we in, where you have this gift and you're giving so much to the world, but who's pouring into you, and how you pour into yourself. Yeah, so, I learned a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about myself, like, making this album, I learned a lot about myself. And not just this album, like, I've been making a lot of music, like, over the last 3 years. Like, I got enough music for a decade. So, the album is not called Decade of Beloved King Rock Here Chance. You know what I mean? Like, it's a plan. It's a plan to come with this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really going to look up one day and, like, be, one of the kings of this shit. Like, I already got that in my mind. So it's just really got to let it play out and stick to the script. And try to stay healthy physically and mentally to be around to see it all.
Well, I'm waiting for your book to come out because clearly you need to write one.
Yeah.
But
I know, right?
Tell us about Love Life Foundation and how the work that is going on there is really helping our men and women.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I mean, I started the Love Life Foundation for a number of reasons, Again, I come from humble beginnings. I come from a background of challenges, Like I'm
Mhm.
starting to become more vocal about it. But like I come from a background of like physical and sexual abuse. You know,
Mhm.
um, you're a household where my mom, I live with my mom was pretty much, raised by my mom and my grandmother, predominantly, primarily. My father was in my life, but not in my household, if that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
So me and my father are extremely close, but although he wasn't in my household, he was in my life. But you know, so I started the foundation based on things I saw growing up, experience, and just really being in a kind of like, again, being an artist and being a public figure, people tend to cater to your every need. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
not. You're lucky if you have some real people around you that's gonna really say, "Hey, bro, you self-destructing," or "Hey, man, like, you need to slow down."
Yeah.
Whatever that is, whatever your vices are, right? And so, like, helping people gives me an opportunity. I don't help people to make myself feel good, so I don't want to misconstrue what I'm saying. But
Mhm.
um, again, when you've been given so much of yourself, I had to find another way to give myself, because musically, that kind of, musically in the industry, my job, it can kind of like, it puts me in a position to be able to like get direct access to my vices. If that makes sense,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, so, and everybody's saying good, right? So it could
Mhm.
be just like recording, like where I don't put anything before music. So, like, in that process, like my family suffered. Most importantly, my kids have suffered. You know what I mean? Because,
Mhm.
like, I started 13 years ago. When my first son was born, I was on the road. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
13 now, and the most critical part in his life is like I've missed so much, right?
Mhm.
And it's just a whole set of other issues now. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
now that I want that time, like, it's not just because I want that time now don't mean I can get that time now. You know what I mean? For whatever
Exactly.
reason, without getting too deep with it. So, again, just helping people has been able. Me starting my foundation, man, saved my life. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it's really just like, um, gives me an opportunity to pour into people and feed people's souls and connect with them in a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying? That when you're talking about kids, for example, or going out and talking to kids, like that 15, 10, 20, 30 minutes, man, it changed their life. Like I know it because I somebody did it for me. You know what I mean? At one time or another. And so it's just kind of like, just leading by example. I mean, I do a lot of work in particular in the domestic violence sector, right? In terms
Mhm.
of advocating to fight domestic violence towards children, women, and men. Done a lot of work in the HIV and AIDS arena as well, with the AHF, feeding the homeless, Operation Nourishment with my brother Tony Lewis Jr. out of DC, another community activist, Jasmine Crow, as well, who has Black Celebrities Given out of Atlanta. Um, a lot of cool stuff, man, that we've
Mhm.
done, over the years, and now it's starting to grow, and it's cool because I involved the fans, from the part of it, how we raise majority of the money,
Mhm.
to date, has been through donations from the fans. Hey, I'll take a picture with you. I'll stick around for 2 hours after the show. Take a picture anywhere from 50 to 300
Wow.
people, and allow them to make donations to the foundation in the process. So it's
Wow.
like fair exchange, no robbery. You know, it's been a cool experience. Learn a lot about myself. Learn a lot about people.
Mhm.
Learn a lot about different things that impact me and us as people of Black and brown color, and just as human beings in general.
A lot of your songs, they're about, love, relationships, but more importantly, it seems like there's a common theme of, like you said earlier, loving yourself and embracing yourself. What's the importance
Mm-hmm.
of diving into socially conscious records? And what do you think is something that we need to bring back to our music today?
I think just as artists, as entertainers, we just gotta, I'm not naive to the fact like everybody don't care. Everybody ain't living in light, what I'm saying, and trying to spread love. Some people living in complete darkness and just want to make music on a hate frequency and whatever. So, like, for me, there's certain lines that are drawn in the sand. So you won't hear me talk about certain things on the record. Because it's like, I wasn't raised by bitches and hoes and sluts. Like, that's not what, my mom or my grandmother or my sister or my auntie or my great aunt or my aunt is 82. That's not what I see when I see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I see women, um, I see so much. I see the rock. You know what I'm saying? I see the foundation of where, the seed's supposed to be planted. Now, does that mean I haven't been trial and error or like a womanizer or any of those things? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, women has always been a challenge for me. So, even now, like, that's something that, I had to learn. Like, just because you got, the opportunity, you have the freedom to, or the opportunity may present itself to be able to have as many women as you want, don't mean that that's the cool. You know what I'm saying? Or there's so many misconceptions again that we taught as men. Coming up with things that we see that I feel like society and now with social media that we accept so abnormal behavior as normacy. You know what I'm saying? So when I make a woman like when I make a record like Queen or Woman or Bulletproof or like an album like the Crossroads album, Footprints on the Moon, America, whatever, right? It's really just to it's really just me understanding my gift, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to operate on a higher frequency of love. And if you're gonna talk about love, you gotta talk about the ugly of it too, I'm saying ain't no love like God's love, you know what I'm saying? God's love is unconditional. You know what I mean? It's unconditional. God's love doesn't care. So I just try to just embody that feeling and that vibration, I pour that into the music. I just try to put my all into it. I try to put my all into it and make it as passionate, as sincere and poetic and tasteful. This album is very sexual and very it's intense.
That's why I said spicy earlier.
Yeah, it's
very
gotta be,
spicy.
but it's gotta be. But why not? It's grown. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so. It can be sexy. It can be poetic. Even if it isn't love, it's going to be. It's going to be it's going to be like and lust and curiosity and all these things before it's love, right? So what
exactly.
I mean?
And I think that's one thing that people really appreciate about your music is that you're not afraid to talk about some things that people are too touchy about or feel uncomfortable talking about. So I think that's what makes your music more relatable because it's real, It's real. So we definitely love your music. Since we're talking about this, we have to know, are you single? And what's one thing that you want the world to know about you?
I'm seeing somebody and her name Mind Your Business. And we having a great time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's awesome. Yeah. I am in a transition of the Phoenix rising, right? I'm coming out of the fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to be I'm here to be great. I'm here to be great. I'm here to be one of the greatest, of my generation in terms of R&B and soul music and the culture, right? But I'm here to be a better man, you know what I'm saying? And to contribute to mankind and to really leave a legacy beyond just music, you know what I mean? And one of my personal dreams is to be transition to become a full-time humanitarian. I know there's a calling for me. Like God ain't done with me yet. You know what I mean? I think God is just getting started with me. I don't know where that's
Wow.
gonna take me and what that looks like, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I embrace it. I welcome it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's kind of like if I had to tell the world anything. And I do my thing in the kitchen a little bit. I'm not just hard digging bubble gum.
What makes you impeccable?
I mean, I think style and grace. You know what I mean? I think that for the first 12, 13 years of my career, I really didn't care what I looked like. I'm taking more pride into like giving the sound a look, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I think that I have a very distinct sound as a vocalist. That I have one of those voices that it's me when you hear me, just like it's not me when somebody tries to sound like me. I've been a blueprint for a lot, right? And and in that process, sometimes you can be quote unquote overlooked or be called underrated, these type of things. But I was the first R&B soul singer to make mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that'll go forever down in history as that was me. That's what I did. You know what I mean? And that's the formula now. That's become the formula. Not only, in the hip hop world, 50 and Mike Jones was like they and I saw it, and I was a hip hop head, and I took that and ran with it on the R&B and on the soul side. So what was cool about the new album, I think that it's coming out, Decade of a Love King, like I approached this album as if I was making like a mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I approached this album from a standpoint of like knowing who my audience is. Where I realized that I have 3 generations that have come to my shows. You know what I mean? Like, you have that 16 to 25 demographic, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Which the 25 or 21-year-old, they were however age they were 13 years ago, right? So that means either their parent was like brainwashing them, playing my shit back to over and over again, or they had an older sister or sibling, you know what I'm saying? Or they was just before they had an old soul, so they was in the they was always finding that real music, quote unquote, right? And then I have like the parent that's like, my demo that's kind of like, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they were in the Biggie, like when I was in the Biggie, like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of were there to see me go from like the Raheem DeVaughn that took the Green Line, and like had the mixtapes on U Street and drove the Green Camry and had, you know what I mean? And always had like, product push, you know what I'm saying? Or we'll go into like, Platinum nightclub with the North Face on with, 50 CDs tucked in the pockets, leave out of there like in half an hour, like, $500. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it was crazy. Like, it was at one point like people would run up on me like I was selling drugs. Like when I was slinging them tapes. Like, and they still do. Like, I got to move different now, of course, and it more so happens at the shows and the meet and greets and what have you. But
I mean, I'm glad you said that because I feel like a lot of young artists now actually need to get back to those basics, like get back to,
it's too many people relying on social media. And,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's clout chasing or whatever you want to call it, capping, right? This album has the potential to hit folks in their gut and their mind, and like kind of like how they totally different, Again, I got like 10 years of music, so like trust me when I tell you I got albums with like live string arrangements from top to bottom, like all live instrument, whatever. But I'm taking my people on a journey, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to do something that was more programmed and sonically, and you know what I mean? Like this is like my new millennial soul rock for me, you know what I mean? New millennial R&B, new millennial soul,
Is that you have music that people will always remember, like whether especially like Decade of a Love King, no matter what other albums come out by anybody else. Your music is something, and your
Like,
sound and your voice, your uniqueness. Yeah.
Like, I hope people, like, I cringe when I hear the word nasty sometimes. Like, you nasty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm just vivid and creative.
Exactly.
And, you know what I'm saying? Vibrant. I just want to remind you you're alive again. You know what I'm saying? Bring the romance back. Bring the spontaneity back.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you soon when you come to Atlanta.
Oh, for sure. I love Atlanta.